White Nationalism and Christianity.
Here's what it is. It's two things that shouldn't go together but somehow end up going together. It sucks that they do. And this is one of those times where it's actually brings it all the way back to slavery. Well, it doesn't comes back down to slavery. But in this particular case, white nationalism and the Word of God. Look, people use the Bible to justify whatever sins they want. We've been doing this with slavery. We did this with the Crusades. We did this. Anytime people use the Bible, they're going to do it. And they're going to use certain things because the Bible is good, but sometimes, God, you may want to be a little bit more general when stop being so general. You want to be a little bit more specific in some of the things you're saying. Like white nationalism is just using some things that to their advantage because we let them. And it sucks. The reason it does is because we understand that they have an agenda, but we couldn't call them out. We didn't even recognize the Ku Klux Klan as a hate group till the mid-'80s.
But no group excels at intimidation like the one based on the old slave patrols that calls itself the Ku Klux Klan.
So it was just like, why are we doing this? We're letting them do it because it sounds good. And it sounds good and it benefits those in power.
Give me a name. Give me a
white
name.
Supremacists and
white like me to condemn?
White supremacists and right
Proud Boys, stand back and stand by.
Much as I talk about it, I made a sports reference. I'll make a sports reference about this. Some things that's just okay and lawful doesn't mean it's all right. Like the NFL. I am a diehard NFL person. I love my Lions. But the NFL took Sundays away from the church and we were cool with it. So that doesn't mean that it's right, and it doesn't mean it's legal, and you shouldn't have Thursday night football. But yet and still we do because people want to see people run into each other at breakneck speed. And such as the White Nationalist Party. We want to see how this train wreck goes. We do not agree with their values, but we want them to exist because we want what other countries and other people had. We had a guy. We had a dictator. We have a bad guy. So when bad things happen, we could point to those white nationalists and we could just say, you're the bad guy.
So America is just based on finding the new enemy, the new evil. It's got to be an evil. And basically, they designate something as being evil and everybody latches onto it and it becomes the new evil.
And you did this. That's all it is. We just need a designated bad guy. That's why we don't shut them down immensely. We have the resources to do so. So anything just add in church or add in Christianity along with it, that's just more sauce on it. So we're going to take that one good thing to make several bad things, but we're going to take the one good thing and hold that because it couldn't just be that. People are fueled by different things, and sometimes it can be a religious aspect, and this is one of those times.
You got the real Christianity, and you got the Christianity that was bastardized to enslave us. So, yeah, you're right. That white nationalism, I'm going to say, was a part of what enslaved us and how they took Christianity and used it against us. So, with them doing that, and we were very deep into our Christianity, talking about from day one, they were able to take and use it against us. So, yeah, that goes back into another way that they were able to enslave us through Christianity and them taking and altering the Bible and removing parts of the Bible that, would give us the knowledge in order for them not to be able to use it against us.
All things that should cause us to be concerned about using internet searches for information and not relying, as we say, a Bible on books and things that are more permanent and more durable and in many respects more reliable in terms of the information that we receive. Because, as we said, anything on the internet, it can be here one day, and the powers can be scrubbed it the next day. So it can be pretty much whatever the owners of Wikipedia and some of these other sites want it to be, and it reliably is. As I said, somehow Della Casas was made as this hero of the abolitionist community. And this is unforgivable. We should never, ever lose track of the fact that he had a lot to do with justifying organized religion to enslave Africans. 400 years later, we're still not free. Malcolm said, when the missionaries came, they had the Bible and you had the land. And when they left, you had the Bible and they had the land. The word religion means to bind back, according to Browder and his Browder Files. Religion is inherently political because it binds you to the nation state of which you are a part. Most Africans in America are Christian because it's the ideology imposed on us during our enslavement. And many of us are not even cognizant of the fact that it was Africans that invented this form of worship in opposition to the same group using it to oppress us now, which is Europeans. The remnants of this imposition still exists. They are as clear as the false narrative promoted by the white religious figures of the black church I attended. In ancient Egypt, the Pharaoh was considered to be God's anointed servant on earth. Osir, the most perfect black, was believed to have ruled over the entirety of that civilization. So this is a time where Africans were able to use systems of worship to further and promote their people, who they were, as they ruled the world and the most powerful force in the world. So one of the questions is, if Europeans have used Christianity and Judaism to conquer, and Arabs have used Islam, and Asians have Buddha, what do we have? Where does this leave Africans, the source and origins of all these belief systems? For 2,000 years, Constantine and other Europeans have used Christianity to justify the conquest and domination of the world in the name of Europe. If Africans can't take over the world, is there a belief system that will at least allow us to retake our own continent? Garvey King, Nat Turner, Alvin Clayton Powell, all were Christian. X was a Muslim. What can we learn from their examples that can instruct us and reclaim our rightful place in history? We must reject the proposition that the world's first people must remain in last place. It is proven that we can count on church as a place where we can sing, dance, rejoice, shout, and celebrate. For us, religion has been a narcotic, and each week we need our fix to numb the pain of being Africans in a world dominated by whiteness. But do our houses of worship, our faith institutions, provide us with the curriculum of nation building? John Henry Clark said, we are a nation within a nation without nationality. How can we address this conundrum and use our faith to build strong communities and not just monuments to capitalistic Christianity? Reverend Ike's response was epic when he was asked what has he done to help the poor. He said, not being one of them. Is this the best we can do? Does our study of the holy text of modernity doom us to, in the words of Karinga, borrow pages from our oppressor's notebook? Or will we finally emerge with a blueprint that will aid us as we design an African world revolution?